Welcome back, guys. Thank you for coming and seeing the BDJ Talk Sports. I'm Josh.
I'm Buddy.
And I'm D-Train.
And like I said, again, this is BDJ Talk Sports. So, gonna have a quick little show for you guys today. What do you guys want to start talking about first?
I feel like there's a lot to talk about. I feel like the biggest is the fact that there's no college football for some conferences. That is really big news. But I feel like some other big news that you guys would love to talk about, and D-Train was telling me before, I feel like we just get this out of the way first, was the fact that the Phoenix Suns are 8-0 in the bubble.
Hey.
And that's the win today in order to make the playoffs.
It is currently 8:33 p.m. at the time of this recording. I dusted off the Brooke Lopez jersey. Shout out to Dick's Sporting Goods. Got this for $4.99 after he went to the Lakers. I remember I donated more to charity than the jersey was cost. I got my Nets hat on, and I've got the Suns jersey on. We need Brooklyn to win against the Blazers, and then the playoff drought is over for the Phoenix Suns. I am ecstatic, and I just
man. Devin Booker is he's balling on another level right now, man. He looks ridiculous. Like I seen I forgot what game it was, but this was like a couple of days ago. And he was like, I'm talking about like near the half court line. And he's just like trying to pass it, but then he just jumps up and shoot it, and it hits like, and it doesn't even hit the net. Like it just goes straight down, like whoop. And I was like, wow. And the guy was draped all over him like a fly trying to get on your food when you're outside eating at a barbecue or a picnic. Like, he was all over him, man, and he just jumps up, shoots it, and I'm just like, yo, Devin Booker?
He don't play.
Man.
He don't mess around.
He's
coming.
Have to change his name to Devin Buckets Booker. DBB.
I like Devin Buckets.
Devin Buckets Booker.
Devin.
Real, man. He looks good. He's carrying that team for real. Like, I really want to see them in the playoffs, honestly. Like that's how like interesting they have been. I really want to see them in the playoffs. So
they just
put. Do you guys think that there could be a good challenge in the playoffs? Like, do you feel like if they become the 8th seed, do you feel like they could challenge up against teams like the Lakers and all other teams, the Clippers?
I'll get to it on my very biased opinion, but first, dude, they put a beating on the Dallas Mavericks today, 128-102. They put a beating on Doncic, Porzingis, and the boys. I didn't watch the game, so I don't know if Doncic and Porzingis played or if they benched them before the playoffs. I don't know how that worked. I was at work all day, but I saw the box score, and that's all that matters. So note to self: when Ricky Rubio is healthy, DeAndre Ayton isn't on steroids. This team's looking good. You know, when Ricky Rubio is not going up and down in crutches and DeAndre Ayton is not on amphetamines or steroids, we really have a roster. So I'm excited. Do I think that they can contend with the Lakers? Yeah, and here's why. I think that they're a team like this that's so hungry and eager and have something to prove. It's like the Miami Marlins right now. When a team has that chip on their shoulder and has something to prove, they're going to play better. That's why they went 8-0 in the first place. It's because they had that extra motivation. You know, like this is our one opportunity. We got to win every single game to have a shot in the playoffs. And they went and won every single game to get into the playoffs.
Especially since, they were refreshed and they were energized. And like you said, they had that chip to prove on, especially with these extra 5 months, to relax and, get energized again, especially for, the coming back to basketball, especially with what has happened this year. So, as you can see.
Since we are.
And I just think it's going to be tougher for the Lakers to play against the Suns than I think people realize, just because as good as Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis are, I'm not going to say DeAndre Ayton is better, but he's good enough that he can, that he can do some damage. It's not going to be easy. And I think that a lot of the big men that the Lakers have gone up against, not that it's necessarily easy, but, there's aren't good matchups for it. I mean, DeAndre Ayton out of college, his comp was David Robinson. That's not who I thought he should be compared to, but that's what the analysts were saying, David Robinson. But that's who you're being compared to, dude. I'm expecting big things. I mean, granted, and I said this on another episode, at the time, I still thought they should have taken Luka Doncic. Clearly, it worked out well. At least good enough for them to be in contention for the playoffs. And that's more than anybody would have expected going into the season. So I'm very proud of the lads. And I can't wait to see what happens when at tip-off at 9:00 for the Blazers and the Nets. So that's gonna be tough because Dame Lillard, dude, that guy's been on a hot streak. Like,
you could thank Pat Beverly in PG-13.
Doesn't he want to be in? Like, didn't he say? Was it him that said like he would be a Knick? Like he would want to play for them in the upcoming future?
Kemba Walker.
That was Kemba Walker? Yeah, well,
I think he did Kemba Walker.
A lot of players say they want to play for the Knicks, and then they don't sign there. So I mean, but keep going.
There's the owner. There's our New York owner.
Yeah. But
Pirates beat the
you guys
Reds.
talk about Damian Lillard.
Dude, I can definitely see the Blazers getting to the championship. Definitely.
Really?
Definitely. I don't think people realize just how good Damian Lillard is. I mean, just think of it this way. What's the biggest weakness on the Lakers? Their point guard. Their guards in general have just been playing awful. What's the biggest strength on the Blazers? Their backcourt.
That's true.
I understand that their big men aren't incredible, but I think they're good enough to kind of, I don't think Anthony Davis is going to get 25 rebounds on them.
I mean, but even when you think about it, though, your backcourt controls the ball, and when you have Dame Lillard, they're not going to be able to stop him. So what are you going to do? Like, honestly, you there's nothing you can do to contain him with the people that you have, unless you're talking about probably putting, like, I don't know, like who would you even put on Damian Lillard?
I think Danny Green, but the only problem is, like, Danny Green's an excellent perimeter defender, but I don't know if he's an excellent on-ball stopper. So it would have to be Rajon Rondo.
I don't know, man. I just don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It makes it very tough, and he can take you off the dribble.
Exactly.
I think Green would be able to mitigate McCollum, but I don't think they have a surefire stop for Dame Lillard.
No.
I mean, people are going to say, well, there's LeBron and, there's this, that, and the other.
But why would you move them
last year, especially because they got Carmelo, and Carmelo's been good too.
Exactly.
So,
I just thought about that. Carmelo has,
like,
I forgot all about that.
As good as the defenders on the Lakers are, going into last year, everybody said Paul George is a top 3 MVP vote getter, excellent defenseman, all this stuff. Yeah, and he cooked them. And the most iconic shot of the guy's career was him shooting it right in his face, defense draped all over him, and him waving by. And the Thunder.
That was so iconic.
The Thunder imploding their super team and getting rid of the face of their franchise. So.
Wait, didn't Draymond Green get in trouble? Because who was that he made that statement about, saying that they're wasting his years and
Devin
he needs
Booker.
to move?
Devin Booker. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, it's like, dude, give me a second. People say, Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell and Devin Booker are all, tight like this, yada, yada. Instead of trying to move to, Golden State or Minnesota, dude, why not just go to Phoenix? Have D'Angelo Russell as their 6th man, to be like a Lou Williams type, because I think that's his ceiling is Lou Williams. Have
Lou Williams.
Really? You think his ceiling is Lou Williams?
Dude,
D'Angelo Russell, like, oh my God, dude, I've seen him play when he was in Brooklyn. Like, you know what I mean? He was good for Brooklyn, and of course they had to trade him to the Warriors.
I shouldn't say
That's low though, Dennis. That's really low.
Wow, even I can agree that's low. Like when
that's pretty low.
I mean like a Lou.
I've seen him do some pretty good stuff. I don't know.
I mean like a Lou Williams type player.
Saying that he's low.
No,
like,
but even that's too low for him, Dennis. He's above Lou. He's above Lou in my opinion.
But he's not gonna move the ball like freaking Ricky Rubio.
Of course not. But Lou Williams.
I'm saying if they go to Phoenix.
Oh my God.
Look, in terms of scoring, yeah, obviously D'Angelo Russell's better than Ricky Rubio, but I mean, like, if let's say hypothetically he goes to Phoenix, right? What's their starting five be? If Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell go to Phoenix,
right?
Their shooting guard's obviously going to be Devin Booker. Power forward would have to be DeAndre Ayton, right? I just feel like he's built to be power forward. But him and Karl Anthony Towns could switch between power forward and center. That's
exactly
interchangeable, depending on the matchup. You know, if they're going up against the Nuggets with a very good center, I would put Ayton as the center, more of a defensive player. And, you know, vice versa. But, you know, if they're going up against a good power forward, just work it around that. But then it's like, what happens? Because then they still have Ricky Rubio as their point guard, I understand he's no Steve Nash, but, I mean, he's a great passer. He's a good enough defender that would justify me starting him in the West over going up against Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, so on and so forth. Their small forward, I guess, would be Sarge.
Because he's a better scorer, though. When you're going to go against those players,
but their bench isn't strong enough because I guess actually their real small forward would probably be Kelly Oubre, but their bench, I don't know. I would like Russell coming off the bench and leading the offense off the bench. That's what I meant by like a Lou Williams type player. That like, yeah, he should be in a starting lineup on a team, but he works better off the bench. Like Manu Ginobili, Tony Kukoc, guys that could start but just work better off the bench.
Well, if you don't have a strong bench, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's what I meant. I explained it horrific.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah. I understand what you're getting.
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
because I mean, like, because he's such a dominant, like, on ball player, D'Angelo Russell, and so is Booker. Booker's not a catch and shoot type player, and Karl Anthony Towns can play back to the basket. DeAndre Ayton's going to play back to the basket. So it's like, where does he fit in on that starting lineup? So I feel like they would have no choice. They would have no choice but to put him off the bench. And I think if Booker leaves Phoenix, he's an idiot. Because you have DeAndre Ayton. You have the best young center in that – you have the best young big man in that conference.
You know what I think he would do? I don't think he would leave, but I think he would make them feel like he's leaving. You know, kind of like how LeBron did. You know, how he was like, look, give me players or I'm out. You know, then he'll probably do something like that.
That's another point. Historically, what people forget about up until recently is Phoenix has always been a very big free agent destination in basketball. The first unrestricted free agent ever in 1989 was Tom Chambers, and he had gone to Phoenix after leaving Seattle and being successful with the trio of him, Xavier McDaniel, and Dale Ellis, even going to the Western Conference Finals against the Showtime Lakers. And then since then, Steve Nash in the early 2000s and after the 2003 season, Grant Hill went there.
I remember Grant Hill.
There was the Sean Marion, Shaquille O'Neal trade. That was one of the teams Shaquille O'Neal wanted to go to. Did that ruin the Phoenix Suns teams in the 2010s? Undeniably it did, but, you know, who's keeping score? Charles Barkley, right? You know, so on and so forth. That they've had a long history of getting good free agent players.
Didn't Stoudemire play there as well?
Amari Stoudemire, yeah, but he was drafted. Him and Sean Marion were drafted into Phoenix. So that's why I didn't want to bring them up. But
okay.
But they still stayed there because they're on winning teams. So when they have a winning team, it's not hard to get free agents there, taxes and whatnot.
Mm.
You know,
their taxes not
big when guys want to get into, guys like having side businesses, real estate and the restaurant business is huge out there.
Mm.
So it's very
Hot though.
yeah, it's hot though. But I mean, like, what are you gonna? Oh yeah, you're gonna go to California. Like that's you're gonna go to Los Angeles. That's a huge difference.
I think that
you're a
covers up
multimillionaire. I think you can afford central air in your house.
I think that covers up the Devin Booker and the Suns discussion.
Yeah.
I just saw something on Instagram right now. They said that minority owners are trying to think of a way to force Dan Snyder to sell the Washington football team.
Mm.
What do you guys think about that?
That sounds like a good idea.
I mean, it makes sense because, the first thing that he said when this was first speculating about them changing the name way before this movement of, shutting down racist things or whatever, they've been said that he been said, oh, I would never change the name. I would never change the name. They've been trying to get him to change the name for a while.
A long time. And he said he would never do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said they're trying to attempt to pressure him to sell the team. So, I
don't know. I mean, I don't know. Honestly,
it's crazy. It's crazy though, right? Like, think of that. Like,
Yeah, it is because I mean, as much as you think about, oh yeah, you should sell the team. It's a legacy thing, Like that's probably something that's passed down, stuff like that. Most of the time, that stuff is passed down. Like even with the Texans, our owner died. Bob, rest in peace, Bob McNair. And now Cal is the owner, and his wife Janice is. They're the owners of the Texans now. So it's like when you think of stuff like that, that is literally passed down. Like that's something hard to give up. So I don't even know if I can say, oh, he needs to sell the team. Like that's hard. But the name change was something that really needed to happen. And honestly, I'm surprised it's not because when you think about it, you have the Florida State Seminoles. I mean, there's so many teams that, you would think people will also be like, oh, y'all need to change their name. I mean, I don't know. But I don't as far as selling the team, I don't know. I'm iffy about it. Like it doesn't really, they changed the name. That was the main thing everybody was asking. He did that. He changed the name. He changed the name, even though he said he never would, in exclamation marks in bold letters, that he would never do. But he did it. You have to respect that because you do have players on your team that, that are of different, ethnic groups and all that stuff like that. So it had to be done. I mean, but as far as selling the team, I don't know about the team. I don't know about that.
But let's bring up a funny story. So on wake of that political topic. So I don't know, Josh, I don't know if you saw the thing that I sent you in the group chat, but I know D-Train, got to kick a D-Train's reaction. There was a Seattle rookie cornerback who got waived.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that, man.
Yeah, he got waived because he apparently tried to sneak in his girlfriend into the hotel where they're staying at. And apparently his girlfriend was apparently trying to dress up as a player. So what do you imagine that though? You pass by and you see a girl dressed up as a football player, like who is you?
Here's
the thing I don't understand. Who in their right mind would be dressed up? You're in a hotel room. You're not dressed.
Yeah.
So that was already suspicious to begin with. Like, okay, if you're at the practice facility and she dresses up as okay. But at a hotel? The team hotel?
That's terrible because, he doesn't have a job now.
He's got a –
Stupid is what stupid does. I mean, I don't feel bad for the guy. That's
no, I don't feel bad. Like, what's going.
That's what he gets, man. He's got to start using his head. And no, not that head.
Not that head. PG-13. He's trying to use the wrong head. That's
what he did. And that's the repercussions for being stupid. Thank you.
No, I don't allow that. Like
me and my dad were just talking about it right before I went on. He's feeding the fish. It's like, Dad, you gotta hear. This is what this knucklehead did. And dude, Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, dude, they don't mess around. You picked like the completely wrong team to do that with. That's like that's like trying to do that with like Greg Popovich as your coach.
Or Bill Belichick.
Bro, what are you doing?
Come on. Stupid.
Could you imagine
But he's
that?
a rookie. And rookies do dumb stuff, and that's why he's gone.
Exactly.
Yeah, could you imagine that one?
What's going on?
Could you imagine? What? Could you imagine that? That's like, at the family barbecue or whatever. Yeah, that's Uncle whatever, Jobber, whatever his name is. That that could have went to the NFL. That was in the NFL. Oh, why isn't he there now? Because he tried sneaking Aunt whatever her name is. into the,
that's only if they stay together. No, think about this. What if they break up?
Yeah,
I can't even blame her. I can't even. You can't even say like, I can't believe she ruined his career, because that's what him and his friends.
That's his fault.
She ruined your career. It's like, no, you ruined your own career, dummy.
They're gonna break up because he's gonna be like, yo, you wanted to come over here and I'm not on the team anymore. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's still his. I mean, like I said, that's still his fault. Like, you got, you're playing in the NFL. Like, you got rules and responsibilities to follow, especially what's going on. I don't think bringing an outsider into the team hotel was probably the smart idea, because you don't know where she could have been, where she was. I mean, you know what I mean? You know what she could have had it. You bring in your whole team at risk.
But it's not even that, though, man. It's the fact that you are a rookie. You are a nobody. If that would have been Russell Wilson to bring Sierra and his kids there, it would have been, come on, Russ, we can't do this. But as a rookie, you feel like you have the obligation. You feel like you have that right to even bring somebody in, and nobody even knows who you are. Russell Wilson was probably, who is that guy? He probably don't even know him.
Dude, I just had an epiphany.
What?
Your quarterback, Russell Wilson, has been the most vocal player about COVID procedure.
And you don't even know it. And your stupid self then, bro, you said that I have a wife and a baby.
I feel like
taking Corona serious, and you want to bring somebody outside that hasn't been tested like y'all been tested every day.
I feel like I was just talking bad about D'Angelo Russell, but the whole thing reminds me of D'Angelo Russell getting caught with marijuana in JFK Airport. Do you remember when that happened?
Oh.
When D'Angelo Russell got caught with weed in JFK Airport or LaGuardia, whatever it was.
What's his name?
Dude, I'll never forget Will Kane. When Will Kane
didn't he get caught with a gun?
Quentin Williams
got caught with a gun at the airport, right?
Yeah, I mean, because something with New York and, bringing with being able to walk around with a gun, and I guess something with a permit. And so he needed to go to court in Alabama. That got delayed a lot because of Corona. I don't know what's the story with that now, but I think he's okay now. At least, luckily, I mean, it was nothing really serious.
Yeah, it reminds me like Will Kane the next day was like, everybody's talking about like, why would you try and do it or whatever? He's like, he tried sneaking it in with a water bottle. You're not allowed to bring bottles on airplanes. It's like the exact same thing. It's like you were doing one thing wrong, and you were doing it like definitely the way you were supposed to not do it.
No, hey Dennis, I got one for you. You ready?
Yeah.
It's like Ruby Gobert touching all the mics before he left.
Like we could just go all day. It's like Plaxico Burress bringing a gun into a nightclub and ruining a potential dynasty.
Oh man!
I'll never forget. Oh my god! And then he was touching Donovan Mitchell, and then next thing you know, he was the first known ever player to be.
I kind of feel bad for him though, because he was playing and then he had got it for real.
Yeah, and it was for real.
He needs to get Defensive Player of the Year, man. He stopped the whole week. How do you not give a Defensive Player?
I mean, hey, he's living up to
America.
He's living up to who he is, though, Dennis. You can't be upset with that.
That's why I'm not. He's the stifled tower. Ask and you shall receive.
It's a special talent. It's not everybody can't do that, man, and he definitely can do that. Like,
oh my god, I'll never forget that. Oh man, he was the first ever known player, and it's funny. He was touching Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell got tested positive. It's just crazy how everything went down.
And from that point, that's when it started going downhill. Honestly, that's like really.
Wasn't that Emmanuel Mudiay who also? No, he's on the Knicks. There was somebody else Was it Dante Exum who got it on their team? There was a guy who got it on their team, and everybody just forgot he got it.
Basketball?
Yeah, on the Jazz. Somebody else had gotten it on their team. Somebody got it before Donovan Mitchell. And I can't remember who.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember who. Yeah, it was.
It was like a bench player that nobody really knew. But I'm pretty sure it might have been Dante Exum.
When the Lakers,
somebody had gotten it.
When they said
I can't
the Lakers,
remember.
A lot of the Lakers players tested positive, but they didn't give out names. Like some teams didn't give out names. They just said like,
well, because you didn't have to.
Right. I guess you wanted that to be private. It's like, I mean, I don't blame you, but like I know Kevin Durant, he was like one of the first big known players.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Kevin Durant, yeah, he did have it.
Yeah,
and then for football, it was Von Miller.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, Von Miller. Yeah, he was the first. Yeah, he was the first. Yeah, and then there was a center, a rookie center from the Rams. His last name's Allen. He was one of the players to be tested positive. Yeah, it's weird because I was with someone that like her mom like worked out with one of the trainers for Kevin Durant, and he was around. The person was like around Durant around that time. So I was like, well. So I just feel like it's kind of weird. Everything has some sort of connection. All I gotta say is stay safe, everyone.
Mess up.
Still real, man. Still real out here.
Let's talk about the next big thing that's going on. Speaking of football, so big news just happened. I feel like this is just big as news as that has to do with college since like the tournaments got canceled back in March. So the Big Ten and who else? I know it was the Big Ten.
Big Ten and Pac-12, wasn't it?
No,
Patriots League.
No, it was Big Ten. Wait. Big Ten and somebody else.
The SEC.
SEC? I thought they did.
I know. No, the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is staying up. I mean, I think the season it's getting delayed till September 26th. But
no, I think that. Oh no, I think the SEC is only doing like they came out. I forgot. I seen the post a couple of days ago, but they showed like who's going to be playing who in the SEC. So they only made it for their conference, I believe. Oh crap, I'm trying to remember. Because they had Alabama would play against Florida. They would play against Mississippi, Ole Miss. I mean,
I don't think
somebody else too. I think
my mom was watching the news. I don't think Alabama is going to be playing anybody.
You don't think so?
Because Alabama doesn't want any schools open.
Yeah, not the Pac-12. Supposedly it's supposed to be canceling their season.
Yeah, see, I heard.
I know the Big Ten, which involves Michigan, Rutgers, Wisconsin. I know that there's, that league got canceled. And it's crazy because I remember I saw Dan Villari's story, from quarterback from our town, and he was at the Detroit airport. So I guess I don't know what's going on. So I guess they told him to go home because there's no season. It got postponed. Now some leagues are trying to make sure they're able to play in the spring. But in my opinion, how can you do that? I don't see how playing in the spring is going to do anything because you got the draft, you got the combine, you got pro days.
Only for those guys that are high caliber. I mean, I don't see those guys playing, honestly. And it was something my coach, my old little league, and he was my old little league coach. His name was Tony Jones, and he was saying, and it made perfect sense. And he was saying that if you're a senior this year in high school, coming out, don't even play. Because if they move it to the spring, you're gonna have to play in, because when you think about it, you're gonna be playing in the spring, and then right in fall, you're supposed to be getting ready for college football. So if you already committed to a school, don't even play.
Yeah,
it makes perfect sense. Don't play if you're committed, and if you're a guy that's going to declare for the NFL, don't even play. Your stock is not going to rise no more than what it already is.
Just stay in playing shape.
Just make sure you're working out. Send those workout videos out from your agent. And send them to, scouts. But nobody's thought, and that's why I feel bad for guys that are on the bubble, potential, NFL guys, because this season is really going to hurt them. You know, like, it's not going to help them at all. So a lot of these guys are going to have to just decide whether they want to play or not, and that's hard. That's a hard decision to make. Like, even the incoming rookies this year, I feel bad for, like, those bubble guys that are going to be missing out on OTAs and, you know, those, like, what do they call them?
Mini camps. Mini camps, OTAs.
Mini camps, but the ones when they practice against the other team, joint practices.
Joint practices.
Joint practices, scrimmages. You know, those guys are going to miss out a lot on that, and that's usually what helps them make the roster or make practice squad. And it's going to be really hard on the rookies this year, especially because they're not getting the authentic NFL season. They're getting some last minute made up, like, we're going to figure this out as it goes on. Like, so next year, or, you know, whatever happens with Corona, next season might not even be the same. It might go back to – hopefully it goes back to normal, because I'm just tired of this new normal crap. Like, it's annoying because people refuse to wear masks and wash their hands and, you know, be hygienic. So, you know, we kind of have to deal with this crap still. I mean, it's supposed to be, you know, I'm not going to get into that. That's too political. Anyway, but yeah, so I just feel like a lot of those players are going to have to make decisions that are going to be very difficult, and I would hate to be in their shoes right now.
Even Joe Burrow, I know he reached out to Twitter, and he said, I feel for college football players right now. He says, if I didn't have a season last year, I'd be looking for a job. So you think of all the opportunities and all the missed things that we could have been seeing this fall. You know? It's crazy. I know the Pac-12. I thought that I saw something that they would play. You know, let me look up. Let me just go to my social media.
Oh, man. It's just – while we're still on the topic of, like, Corona and stuff, they say that all personnel stands at 46% to test positive, So the NFL positive test rate across all personnel, that's coaches, players, training staff, or so on. The rate is at 46% that tested, like, positive or whatever, which is that's pretty good for what we thought what the numbers would be like.
What's this for? What is this again?
This is for the COVID test.
College or
for football. This is NFL. I mean, I don't know why I said football. Yeah, this is for the NFL. So the positive test rate across the whole NFL is only at 46%. So, I mean, it could be a lot worse, honestly.
It could be a lot worse. I mean, I feel like there's still more to talk about with the college football. I mean, so the fact that, the Big Ten and the Pac-12 and other conferences are canceling the season, posting it to the spring, they're talking about trying to move games on Sunday for the NFL, some to Saturday and some to Friday, to fill the void for that. And now I remember watching something that how the NFL basically right now controls the sports world. So what do you guys think about that? Sports being moved on to, like, Saturday. I mean, football being moved on to Saturday or Friday night lights. Imagine having Friday football.
Listen, I'm whatever to keep the world spinning correct with the sports world, I should say. I'm down for whatever. If you have a game Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't care. I'm tuning in at this point. Like, I don't have an issue with it. And I feel like Friday – well, I'm from Texas, so football is huge. Friday nights was –
Friday night lights.
Thing, man. Like, what? That was the best thing, Friday night. So I would love Friday night football games. I mean, it's definitely to fill the void. If there's not going to be any high school football on a Friday night, you might as well be able to watch an NFL football game on a Friday night. But I do want them, like, if they're not going to have fans there, I want them mic'd up.
Right, yeah, something like that. Well, I mean, I was watching the Mets game today, and, like, Steven Strasburg got ejected, and, like, you were able to hear him Like, at the umpire. I don't know if you guys heard
Wait,
about
did he
that.
say effing radical, right?
He said effing brutal, like something because like the umpire was bad. And like you were able to, I didn't hear it, but like I heard like Gary Cohen and like Keith and like they're all going nuts. So like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, having the players mic'd up, I mean, I think that could be fun. That's what Deshaun Jackson. I remember he said something like that. I wouldn't mind hearing the players mic'd up. They just got.
I don't think I want to hear more out of Deshaun Jackson's mouth after this offseason.
Yeah, after his remarks, yeah.
Yeah, man. Everybody,
we shouldn't want to hear.
Everybody make mistakes, man.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I'm just playing. I'm just messing around.
That's another topic, but no, I mean, honestly, having the players mic'd up, I mean, it'd be interesting to hear what the players would say, what goes on in the game plan, what goes on in the huddle. I mean, I feel like you hear enough out of them as it is, even with fans. I mean, you're still able to hear some things.
But that's kind of like how we were, when the XFL was going on and we were talking about, like, them being mic'd up and hearing them and stuff like that, and everybody was enjoying that. So I just feel like they should just go ahead and implement that into NFL, especially if there's not really going to be fans. And, like I think, actually, the Eagles is one team that said they're not having fans at the stadium, period.
Yes,
they've already decided that regardless of how the outcome of Corona is, they said they're not having fans at the stadium at all.
Yeah, Governor Murphy of New Jersey, he said Giants and the Jets are not having any fans.
Yeah, so I feel like that atmosphere of, like, just having fans there is completely different. So to fill that void, at least have them mic'd up. Like, that would be entertaining. Like,
yeah,
man, just thinking of that, I can't believe that it's not good. I mean, just think of it though. Like, I mean, I was talking about it to I think my dad or my friend, and it's just the fact that there's not going to be any fans. I mean, there's not fans at baseball right now, but football, it's crazy. I was at the last opening day. There's not going to be any fans at opening day this year. So it's crazy to think a year ago what was going, like, just a normal opening day to now it's like flipped around. Just think of how crazy that is.
Yes, no,
insane, right? So I'm praying that by 2021 in September.
I feel bad for these owners, man. They're not going to make no money this year.
Sports in general,
yeah. This is not the year for sports.
Like I was just reading a thread that like sports in general this year has just been crazy, and they're talking about how obviously we all know the Spurs' 22-year playoff streak ended just a couple of hours ago.
Bro, and that's all my life they've been to the playoffs.
Yeah, we were talking about before the show, but I didn't realize this, that they had, before missing the playoffs that year, they had a 7-year playoff streak, which means they, in 30 years, went to 29 playoffs. And in the 22-year playoff streak, 10 Western Conference Finals appearances, 6 championship appearances, 5 championship rings won. It's absurd. And then obviously you look at, like, Yankee Stadium is empty. We're New Yorkers. The Yankee Stadium is always packed. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. It's always packed. It's always sold out. Madison Square Garden isn't even hosting sports right now, the biggest sports venue in the world. I mean, it's just absurd to think, like, all the crazy stuff. And now NFL isn't going to have fans. And like, hearing that the NFL doesn't have fans reminds me of, like, when you're playing Madden and you're playing, like, the little drills. Do you know what I'm talking about before in the preseason? Yeah.
All you hear is the whistles.
Yeah.
Oh no, man,
dude. They better pipe in crowd noise for football games, dude. It's gonna sound so bad.
That's what they're doing for baseball. I mean,
I'm okay with it.
I was watching Fox. I was watching the Yankees game, and I don't know if D-Train. I don't know if you saw that, Josh. I don't know if, like, they literally had virtual fans in the stands.
Yeah, they have. Even in the bubble. In the bubble, they have fans that log on.
Right.
Yeah, like a Zoom call, which I think is cool, but that's
insane.
That is very NDA.
How does it even work though? Like, how does that even, like, you know what I mean? Like, how do they even get that?
I think you might have to pay to get, like, Zoom access. I'm not sure how it works. Honestly,
I would say
that would make sense.
The way that I look at it, I feel like these are people that are season ticket holders. because they've already paid this ridiculous amount of money to be a season ticket holder. So to make them feel better, they probably give them like a free. It's as long as you keep being a season ticket holder, you get tickets. So they probably do it like that, like as if they were getting tickets to the games. They probably give them tickets, virtual tickets. I guess, so that they can watch the game on Zoom or something and make it feel like they're at the game.
I think that's pretty cool. No, I think that's pretty cool. Well, no, I mean, like they were like for the Yankees game, they were like computerized, like fans.
CGI.
Like
It was a video game.
Yeah, no. And so with the bubble too, like the bubble, they have like actual like people as like the virtual fans. It's crazy. You know, I wonder what that's like though, live in the bubble.
I don't know why. That reminds me of like something off of Wii Sports or something. Like,
you guys remember the movie Spy Kids?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
Spy
dude.
Kids. Oh,
Totally,
yeah.
man. With
Oh my God,
the
D-Train's, both you guys.
Oh my God, I'm trying to think.
Christmas morning.
Dude,
I was
when I was a
watching,
kid,
like,
I had
the
such a
third
crush on the
Yeah,
mom.
no, like the third one when they went into the video game. It reminds me of
like,
that.
Sylvester Stallone was like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and like it was. You remember the scene where like he was like the robot, like he was fighting the
fight,
girl?
the robot fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and like they were showing the fans, and the fans looked like something from a video game. It was so sketchy.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of thought of when I thought of the Yankees, like virtual like fans, like, you know what I mean? I thought it was like, it's like when you think of Wii Sports and you think of games like that, like in Madden, that's what I think of.
I don't know. You said Spy Kids, and it just made me realize, dude, it doesn't matter what event it is, what party it is, but anytime you'd go to like a barbecue in the mid-2000s, there's always a little kid passed out in the bedroom, and there's always a room of kids watching Spy Kids. Doesn't matter.
Or on Wii.
Doesn't matter where, when, what event it was. Those were two constants. A little kid passed out in the mom and dad in the coat room, and,
or the game room.
And always more often than I was, the little kid passed out. And
I used to be in the game room.
Always somebody
Mario Kart.
watching Spy Kids.
That Mario Kart was always on, man.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that, but it just made me think of that. But yeah, no, like I think the virtual fans looks weird, especially because I didn't like how it was at Yankee Stadium, and it looked like there was more people wearing Red Sox shirts than Yankee shirts.
I don't know. I think it's probably cooler though, like because it's like a VR, you know what I'm saying? It's like virtual reality. So it's like it look real, except you on the screen. But they get the crazy, ridiculous angles that they would get if they were courtside, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's still better than looking on TV. Like you don't got no commercial breaks unless they put commercial breaks on Zoom. I don't know, but
yeah, I guess that's how it is. I don't know. That's such a good question. That's very strange. Baseball, they have like watch parties. They have like Zoom watch parties.
Nobody wants to do a Zoom watch party. Somebody's signal gonna be bad.
Everybody's like 40. It's weird. Like there's like no young people doing it. Totally makes sense.
Because somebody's signal gonna be bad, and then everybody gonna lose the feed. Like,
all right, so we got in the starting lineups today for the Blazers versus the Nets. We got my dude Joe Harris, Raidunas, Kuruks. I don't know. Got a foreign name. I like it. Jared Allen, Garrett Temple, and Karis LeVert. Take me home, boys. Take me home.
Hey, did you guys see did y'all see like the playoff schedule right now?
No, what is it?
So in the Western Conference, obviously you have the Lakers at number 1, and they play whoever the winner is. Then you have the Clippers versus Dallas, Denver versus Utah, and then you have OKC versus Houston. In the Eastern Conference, you have the Bucks versus Orlando, Toronto versus Brooklyn, Boston versus the 76ers, and then Miami versus the Pacers.
You want to talk about a rise and fall? Check out Philadelphia 76ers. Oh, my God. Embiid's done. Ben Simmons is done. People are saying, does one of them have to go? I don't know. I just think I have to blame it on the front office this year. I think losing Jimmy Butler and Josh Reddick hurt that team so much by losing them. I think if they lost Jimmy Butler or Josh Reddick, I think they would have been fine. And that's another playoff streak that ended. Josh Reddick has never played a game in the NBA without being in a season in the NBA without making the playoffs until this year with the Pelicans.
Yeah, the Pelicans. Yeah, they got eliminated.
And last year that happened with Tony Parker. Tony Parker didn't play a single season without missing the playoffs. He was on the Spurs the whole time. Really dynasty. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one, to say the least. But yeah, I guess.
Oh, did y'all see Jimmy Butler? What he said to CP3?
No, I didn't.
All right, so I don't know if you guys seen the game or seen the clip of the game, but CP3 was guarding. I don't remember who the guy was on the Heat, but he was guarding him, and he he tried to take the ball, and so you know how they do like when they got the ball and they do the little thing where they do like that, their elbows back and forth to stop you from getting the ball. Mm-hmm. So Chris Paul was doing that against the guy, and the ref blew the whistle. So then, Chris yanked one more time, and then he threw the ball at the guy's head. So Butler is basically if you come for one of my guys, you gotta see me too, basically.
Yeah.
So he basically called out CP3. So
yeah, but then you got Steven Adams on that team, dude. You got Steven Adams on the Thunder. Jimmy Butler is my favorite player in the league, but I do not like his chances against Aquaman. That is, I don't want to see Jimmy G buckets get attacked. But yeah, I guess, do you guys want to talk about a little bit about baseball? A lot's been going on there too, man.
Yeah.
Josh, yeah. I know you're very eager to talk about your Houston Astros, right?
I am not eager to talk about them. Anyway, we're going to move on because there's something even more important than that.
Breaking news?
We were talking about baseball possibly we were suggesting that they do a bubble. They have been in discussion about a bubble for the postseason.
Postseason, yes. That is big news, yes. They should do that.
Ooh,
I'm an advocate for that. I'm a full advocate for that.
Yeah, and so they also have stated some potential places. We always talked about how they can do they can do here in New York.
New York is New York place?
Do Chicago. So here are some of the potential stadiums. Actually, you have Dodger Stadium, you have Angel Stadium, you have Petco Park. Then they said they can also do Chicago, Milwaukee, New York, and Philly. Those are some of the places they're potentially thinking about doing it. They don't have a set date or anything like that. They are still in talks. They don't have any final decisions or anything like that. They're a long way from making the decision right now, but they are bringing up the idea of doing a bubble for the postseason. So
I'm okay with New York.
Yeah, honestly, no. I think New York. Because it does get cold here. I don't know when they want to do the postseason, but regular time, right? October.
Why don't they just have the American League plays in New York and the National League plays
in LA?
LA, yeah.
I like that. I'm a full advocate for that because say you want to do a playoff game, you have Game 5 of the NLDS, and you can't
Dennis,
play
I gotta give you your credit too.
What?
You said when we first talked about the Joe Kelly thing, you said, I feel like he's gonna get reduced. He got reduced to 5 games.
Yes,
I think he was off by 1. You said 6, I think.
I thought I said 5. I thought I said 5. But I could be wrong. I thought I said 5. Yeah. I probably said 5 or 6. They're probably both right. Compromise.
It did get reduced, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, but so it got reduced.
Dude, I shouted him out, and my dude Kirkus with the jam.
But honestly, I am a full advocate for the bubble because, like I said, like you got a Game 5 NLDS, and somehow it'll get canceled. It'll get canceled because one of the players will get tested positive.
Yeah, and it's been working for basketball. They haven't had any report of anybody catching corona, so it's like it's effective.
Yeah.
So I honestly, if all teams can do that, honestly, I mean not all teams, but if all sports can do that, at least do it for like playoffs. At least if you're not going to do it for the full season, everybody for the playoffs should have a bubble. So football should follow that same thing whenever they get to, whenever they get to the playoff, that they should create a bubble, because at that point you already know who's going to be playing. So that lowers the number way less than the beginning of the season. So I like that. Honestly, I like that, and I think they should do that. And I'm glad they are in talks about it, because from what it looked like, they weren't even thinking about doing a bubble. So there we have it.
Dude, do it in New York. You get 4 games at the same time. MCU on Coney Island, Citi Field, Yankee Stadium, and the Pond, Bethpage Ballpark, home of the Ducks, baby.
Yeah, and it's not like you're having fans anyway, so that's perfect. You don't have to worry about seating because there's no fans. So it's a perfect, like, it worked perfectly fine here, honestly. It does.
Dude,
it really does.
The only thing I'd say is, if hypothetically, even though this definitely isn't going to happen, if they do play at Bethpage Ballpark, Quacker Jack better be in the stadium.
Jack, but it's like they're not going to let anybody in the stadium, though, man. Like,
the mascot, dude, Quacker Jack, baby, Quacker Jack.
Yeah, I mean I know the Philly Fanatic was at the Philly Stadium for one of the games. Yeah, so I mean
the dude from the I don't know the name of their mascot, but the dude from Miller Park, where the Brewers play, was there. The Bobcat from the Diamondbacks, I've seen him. You see
Orbit
team mascots. Orbit, yeah. Yeah, is it Orbit or Norbit?
Orbit. Why would it be Norbit?
Because isn't that like an actual name, Norbit?
No, but it's Orbit because it's the Astros. It's outer space.
No, but like Norbit's like a real name.
Yeah, but why would they name him Norbit?
Because it's a real name that has Orbit in it, too.
No, because, okay, you think about a mascot name, right? They always name the mascot based off of the team. Almost.
Yeah.
Because the Houston Texans have Toro. It's a bull. Our mascot is a bull, so his name is Toro.
What about Yuppie from the Montreal Expos, who got ejected from a game for bullying Tommy Lasorda? And he got ejected in the 7th inning of the game, and the game went on to 19 innings or 16 innings or something like that. He got ejected because he was stomping around on the team dugout.
Why?
Because he was Yuppie. He was Yuppie, the whatever for the Expos, whatever he was supposed to be. He's like a little monster thingy. He was fun.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, man, like there you go. That's a history lesson for you.
Oh my gosh, I can't. What else we got in baseball?
Oh, dude, come on, man.
We got the brawl. Yeah,
Ramon Laureano.
And he called you hitting coach a loser.
Well, yeah, I mean, looking at how Altuve's doing. Ooh, hate.
It's okay. For what he's lacking, others are making up for. So go Astros. Woo!
Like who? Bregman? Josh. George Springer? Josh.
Michael Brantley. No, that I should not.
Oh, no, don't do Michael Brantley now. Come on.
No, Michael Brantley's having a good season.
He's doing good. You tripping.
Bregman's the one going to the freaking plate blindfolded.
Kyle Tucker is doing good.
Did you hear what Oral Hershiser said a couple of weeks ago?
No.
The commentator and should-be Hall of Famer for the Los Angeles Dodgers was saying in a game that he was doing color commentary for, Altuve just whiffed on a ball, just whiffed. And he said, a lot harder to hit when you don't know when it's coming, huh?
Oh, yeah, that famous saying. Yeah, I've been seeing people
like,
put that out. Yeah.
Oral Hershiser does not mess around, dude. God damn.
I mean, but to be fair though, we have been doing good considering what people think. Because here's the thing. You have to hit the ball still, correct?
Yep.
All right. So they've been hitting. I mean, look at the scores.
Yeah,
they put themselves in situations where they have to fight to win, though, I would say.
And a lot of that is their pitching.
Their
Astros really aren't.
Verlander is out, though, man. I mean, come on. Verlander
They have a
is
bunch
out.
of rookies.
Then Osuna, he's out. I mean, Greinke is doing good. But he's not on Verlander's level, though.
Yeah, Greinke's.
And then you have Lance, but I mean, Lance, he was out all last year, so he's looking a little rough right now. So I mean, our pitching is not the best. So it's like, because I've been looking at the games, and I'm like, okay, let's go. And then I look again, and I'm like, dang, tied. And then I look again, another inning. Oh, we scored. They scored 2. So it's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah, they're not really getting like their doors blown off.
That's why I'm not.
And despite their averages not being good, they're getting on base. They're getting walked.
Exactly.
So it's not really cause for concern.
It's not.
The only problem is the pitching. Dude, they need Justin Verlander back like freaking Goku.
Okay. Oh, I got an update on that.
On Goku?
On Verlander.
In a week, he's looking to start throwing. So people said, Verlander's going to be out for the season. No, he's not, man.
Yeah, that
he's
was
already looking to start throwing again.
Because the team was saying that he's going to be done for the year.
Verlander, from his own mouth, said he wasn't done for the year, that he don't know why they were saying that.
Exactly.
And he's already saying – because, like I said, he said himself out his mouth, said he hopes to begin throwing next week. That's what Verlander said.
Yeah.
So –
the Padres are doing good too, man.
The Cubs are doing good. That's what's doing good.
Yeah, I mean, the Cubs are doing good, but who are they going up against?
It doesn't matter. You still got to win.
Speaking of the Central Division teams, Clevenger and Zach Plesac. Did you hear about that?
What happened?
They were sent home because they broke quarantine. In Chicago, they had gone out partying.
Yeah.
But I don't understand.
Zach Plesac was from – the story goes Zach Plesac was from Chicago and had gone out to see friends or whatever, to a restaurant, to a bar. That really hasn't been clearly stated, but he had gone out to some kind of bar restaurant.
I don't get it.
God knows what with his friends. Mike Clevenger was there. Zach Plesac got caught first breaking their hotel quarantine. And the team ripped him a new one in a meeting, and everybody was talking bad about Zach Plesac. Clevenger didn't say anything, and then he got caught.
Really?
And then they held a team meeting yesterday. I don't know what happened since because I was at work today and I didn't watch MLB Central or High Heat or anything. But
I don't understand. What?
Hold on, it gets better. They're letting the team vote on what should happen with them.
Oh, wow.
Full Lord of the Flies, Big Brother, Survivor.
Oh, that's tough.
Dude, they're letting the team decide.
Like what? Like let them go? Like cut them, or just like?
Like what should we do with them? Do you want to
play with them or not?
Do you want them to be back on the team? What do you think?
It's all the above.
They're letting the team decide it.
That's
and people forget Carlos Carrasco has a health condition. And that's why he hasn't been playing, was because he has a severe health condition. He's only coming back now. He's only recovered. I don't know exactly what happened, but they were talking about he had a severe health condition for a little bit.
Oh, that's tough.
So he's coming back to the team, and him being one of the best, Zach Plesac's been great. But even his uncle Dan Plesac, legendary reliever for the Mets and Milwaukee Brewers and Toronto Blue Jays, was saying on MLB Tonight, Harold Reynolds and Greg Amsinger, they didn't want to talk about it for respect to Dan, and Dan wanted to talk about it. He said, I talked to Zach. I told him you're an idiot. What are you doing? Literally, what are you doing? You're breaking this just to hang out with your friends? Like, I get it. Our family is from Chicago, but what are you doing? You have an obligation.
I just don't understand. Do you know I would love to be in their position.
It's absurd. And
Dude,
these
I'm
are
out
two
here
really good
working.
players. These are two really good players. Your team is well above what people expected them to be.
Like, you're going to go to the playoffs. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Because it's the top two teams in every division. So, yeah, the Indians are pretty much a lock because it's regional based. I think they would get exposed going against other teams in the American League. But because it's regional based and they're beating up, you're beating up on the Pirates, you're beating up on the Tigers, you're beating up on these teams that don't have that aren't good. They have good players, but they don't have good teams.
I just don't
that's
understand
what the whole
why you
bizarre
can't.
thing is.
I will never understand why you can't just stay.
That
not
story
screw up.
Yeah, you're going. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying I just don't understand it, honestly. That's all I have to say. Like, that's all on my mind. I just don't understand. Like,
yeah, that story flew under the radar because it happened the same day as the Ramon Laureano incident, which we have to get to.
Right, yeah, I want to get to that quick.
Speak on it.
So, buddy, you want to start it off? I was just going off on there for a little bit.
I feel like Josh. I feel like you know more about this. I mean, since it's your team, all I remember seeing the one Astros player coming at each other. Like, he just literally charged at him from the dugout, and I remember Astros were trying to grab him, hold him back as he.
They didn't grab him; they tackled him.
Yeah, they all tackled him.
Yeah, they tackled him. It was a joke. It was actually pretty funny. Yeah, it was a pretty funny joke because, like I said, I listened to a lot of Houston Texans podcasts and stuff, and they were saying how we should sign him for a linebacker since he can tackle so good. But yeah, no. Yeah, man. So basically, what happened was our stupid hitting coach, and that's funny because no one knew that the Astros had a hitting coach. But yeah, he decides he wants to start talking about someone's mother. Yeah. So
never talk about someone's mother.
Yeah, you don't talk about nobody's
He's
mother.
like 50, man. He's like 50, man. Glad to see he's the adult in the room.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so he didn't like what he had to say, so they started going back and forth. Obviously, like I mentioned, like when about the clearing the dugout with the Joe Kelly situation, you're going to protect the people that's on your team. That's your family. So they started going back and forth, and then that's when he charged towards the dugout, and that's when everybody came out, and that's when everything happened. But yeah, so it's just ridiculous, honestly, and I feel like it's stupid. I'm so glad he got suspended, and I hope Dusty gets rid of him. Like, that's not okay, like, at all. If you want to talk about him, okay, but to bring up somebody's mother,
he shouldn't have said anything. You're the coach, and honestly, in my opinion, and I know you're going to disagree with me, Ramon Laureano shouldn't be suspended at all. Hear me out. I understand he shouldn't have charged their dugout.
I don't disagree with you, Dennis.
He was saying to the pitcher, you throw it like this so you don't keep hitting people. The catcher for the Astros, I think, escalated the situation, Martin Maldonado, because he was getting in his face, and because the team probably couldn't hear, thought that he wanted to charge the mound because it couldn't hear or see what he was saying to the pitcher.
Mm.
So the Astros players got up like you would do when you're about to charge the field. The A's players, I don't think, did.
No, they didn't. It was
so the Astros players escalated it, and this was the exact same thing that happened with the Dodgers. Joe Kelly was walking off the mound. He was walking off the mound, and the Astro players left the dugout. Joe Kelly was walking off the mound. I understand. I'm not saying that he's a saint. He shouldn't have thrown, and he shouldn't have said anything. I get that. But just in terms of the Astro players being kind of their team, and we had this discussion last week or 2 weeks ago about defending players, and we had brought up stories and whatever. But it was very similar in the fact that their players got on the field then and got on the field again first. So it's like, dude, what is going on?
Yeah,
Like,
but then you have
you
to
gotta
understand,
learn the lesson.
if you go to a club and somebody steps on your shoe and you push them and you get into a fight with them, you both are going to suffer the consequences. That's how life works. So, yeah, you can say maybe the Astros did escalate it, but you charging does not help. You have to have that.
I agree.
You have to have the awareness to know that I could create more fire.
Yeah.
Or I can let they fire be their own fire and the fire goes out because I'm not entertaining the situation.
You know what? Speaking of the situation,
you have to understand that same will that you had to go run to the dugout is the same will you had to keep going where you were going. You should have never went to the dugout. But yes, I agree. But no, Dennis, I ain't gonna. I'm me. I'm 100% honest.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he should have gotten suspended. I don't. I really don't. Because that situation was a different type of situation than the Joe Kelly situation.
Right.
Joe Kelly has always been very vocal on everything. Joe, like you said, Joe is not a saint. He's done a lot of stuff in the past. That's why I don't feel bad for him getting suspended. That's why I just don't feel bad in the situation because he started that. However, this situation, our coach started that. So I feel like our coach got the suspension, fine, good. I'm happy with how they handled the situation. Getting suspended, I don't feel like he should have, but I understand because you cannot charge a dugout. Yeah. You charge when you look at it, you charge their dugout. You got them to respond. So you have to suffer the consequences too. If somebody shoots you in your foot and you fight them, the cops are still going to arrest you. Now at that point, you go to court and you can decide, but you're still going to get arrested because you were involved. Right. That's how it goes.
I get what you're saying. Oh, I forgot Hassan Whiteside was on the Blazers, but they just showed CC Sabathia as one of the fans at the Nets game.
Oh, that's cool.
He was one of the virtual fans. But I just think this whole scenario was really bizarre. Yeah. The whole thing was really bizarre. Like the Joe Kelly situation was kind of, I think, straightforward, to be honest, in hindsight. But this was just strange. The Oakland A's and the Houston Astros is just strange.
I hated this one, man, because we already have a lot. And that's the thing. Like, we already have so much heat on us. And it's like every day it's another issue. It's like everybody that we play, there's something that goes wrong. Like everybody I feel like the only people that we played that didn't have an issue was the Angels, and that's because their pitcher coach let it be known we're not doing that.
Right, yeah.
And it's only a matter of time. Dude, think of it this way. There's 10 teams in the region, right? 2 of them there's already been an incident with. The Astros are themselves, so they're down to 7. They're down to 7 teams that haven't had an issue with them. And we were speaking about Zach Greinke a little bit earlier. Did you see what he did when he was showing?
Oh yeah, I love it.
He was showing, dude. I love it. I always like Zach Greinke. That guy's a character. I love it.
I love it because he showed them and they still couldn't hit the ball.
Dude, that's like a Larry Bird, Michael Jordan move. Say what you're gonna do before you do it, and then do it.
I love that.
Wait, Josh, I want to talk about when you said like at the club with like when people step on your shoes. That's why I always, whenever I used to go to the clubs, I would always bring my trashy shoes. The clubs, and so I don't get into situations like that. I would never get into any situation like that. Whenever I go out to anything, you don't want to cause any problems because you don't know where you are. You don't know who's there. People are crazy, so you just want to go there and have a good time, enjoy yourself with your friends. You never want to cause any situation like that because you don't know people are crazy and what they have on them. You always want to be careful.
And then it's like in this climate too. It's this climate too. It's Corona. Now you're breaking protocol because now you are not 6 feet apart. It's just so many situations where it's just bad, period. We already have this scandal on us. We're trying to prove that, we can still be somebody. And on top of that, you guys get into a fight with everybody that we play. Like, honestly, I just want to – like, how they said, like, shut up and dribble?
Yeah.
Even though that was, like, so wrong. I just want them to shut up and play baseball, man. Like, just show them who we are. Like, like And I feel like that's why honestly, that's why I feel like the Astros are not hitting well too. They're in their heads. It's a mind thing.
Yeah.
You know, you can't hit because they probably feel like, oh, well, if I hit, they're going to think I'm cheating. Let them. And that's the thing. People have to be able to let people think what they want to think. You got to have that respect with yourself. You got to have that fire in yourself to be like, I'm okay without this. I feel like that's what's stopping George Springer and them from hitting bombs and stuff, man, is because they're so freaking worried about everybody calling them a cheaters, and they worried about everybody trying to, like, hit them with the ball and stuff like that. They're not focused. And they need to start focusing because, you know, the season is getting shorter now. And every win matters right now. So they just need to – I don't know. They need to go to a meeting or something. I don't know.
I feel like a lot of people are just getting in their heads because of the fact that they might get hit by a pitch. Like, you know, they feel like everyone's out to get them. So I get what you're saying. That's completely – and, you know, everyone, you know, they're nervous for themselves. I mean, they should be lucky that there's no fans because everyone was saying how, like, it was going to be, you know, fun to see the Astros and see what was going to – how the fans were actually going to go. I wouldn't think it's fun if I was one of the Astros players. Think of that. 162 games. Like, you got to, like, travel around the country getting booed. I don't think that would have been fun. And so I just they're in their heads right now, and it's just crazy, you know.
But this is the year where you show them.
Exactly.
Go back to the World Series again. Even if you honestly, if they went back, and even if they lost, I would be happy because y'all said we was cheating. Okay, we didn't cheat this year and we went. So what are y'all saying now? You gotta shut up the haters, man.
And I mean, honestly.
Actually, I want to bring up the Patriots. So, like, you look at the Patriots and the cheating scandal back in 2007, 2008. You know, like you said, Josh. Like, I mean, you know, like how the Astros should just prove them wrong. Like, that's what the Patriots were doing. They keep winning and they keep winning, and they had another dynasty this decade. So, D-Train, what are you gonna say?
The thing I was gonna say about the Astros though is either be the villains or admit guilt.
Right.
You can't do both. Like.
Exactly.
That's the one thing I kind of like about like the Yankees in the late '90s and early 2000s, or rather to the mid 2000s, when they were the so-called the evil empire, that now like fans have affectionately called the evil empire, because it's like, dude, they always won, and you know what? They were like, yeah, we win. That's what we do. But we're not going to apologize for winning. If you're hovering over the plate, sure, Roger Clemens is going to throw in on you. Who cares? This is why we win, because we have this mentality. The Patriots, the same thing. Like, yeah, we are the bad guys. We are going to come in and own your team. The Spurs, for a while, were the same thing. In 2007, when Robert Horry body checked my dude Steve Nash into the scorers table. Same thing. Yeah, dude, this is why we win. Who cares? We'll play as nice as it will take us, and then, yeah,
Bad boy Pistons.
Bad boy Pistons, same thing. Like
Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan.
And I mean, like, there's even players that embrace like the villain side. You know,
even the
Jonathan
steel curtain,
liked
the
being the
steel
villain.
curtain Pittsburgh Steelers.
Chase Utley loved to be the villain. Loved to be the villain.
Yeah,
he said he loved playing at Shea Stadium and Citi Field. He loved being booed.
Yeah, I saw it firsthand, especially when Noah Syndergaard got thrown out. I was at that game. And he just destroyed the Mets later on, and he loved being that villain. I remember when he hit that home run against the Mets, like that game, like he was getting booed nonstop, but he just destroyed the Mets. He was always
Chipper Jones named his, I think, daughter or his son or daughter named her Shea.
Why?
Because of Shea Stadium.
But why?
Because of Shea Stadium.
Like he always just did good.
He liked the name. But if you look at his numbers, he just dominated there. He never had a bad game.
Like my dad told me that, and I said to him, like, what? Just why though? Like, he's like, oh, maybe like he thought the name was nice, but I'm like, there must have been some reason like that. Yeah,
he liked the name, but if you look at his,
should have came to the Mets.
Really liked the stadium.
Exactly.
He loved. No, he ain't even like. He loved the stadium.
Yeah, well, I mean, you also have to look at it at the time. Like he would have gone there, but they had David Wright and Jose Reyes, and I don't think
he was always like no. I mean,
he had no intention.
Like,
I don't
that
think
Mets and the Braves rivalry in the late '90s and the early 2000s, like that was always like a, you know, always anytime there was a Braves and Mets game, it was always big. It was always pretty big.
The Braves were the same kind of thing. Yeah, we're gonna always win in the National League East. What are you gonna do about it? Either get as good as us or don't complain. So I feel like that's how the Astros have to handle it. Like, yeah, we did what we did, and you know what? Now we're going to do it without the use of technology. We're still going to whoop you. I just think that,
that's how I feel.
I just think that, enough of the tiptoeing around it. Just admit it and then just beat everybody. Either have us root against you, or just tuck your tail between your legs. Don't do both.
I'm just hoping.
And that's what I'm saying. But that's why, like, even when y'all were asking me way before, like how do you think, it's gonna go? I tell y'all, they gonna go back. And I feel like, honestly, if they feel like they can go back, and like, it's just crazy that I don't know, like, it's like, I honestly understand that it's like a different team, but it's like they don't look confident, they don't look nothing, they just look like they're just scared of the world. And it's like, man, y'all gotta go out there but like, this is y'all prove it year.
Yeah.
And like, we're still a good team. That's the crazy thing about, we have so much talent on that team, man. Like, there's no reason why we can't go back, honestly.
That's what I was about to say too, is that, their region, they are set up to get to the playoffs. The Angels literally don't have pitching. They don't have any pitching. The Mariners literally don't have pitching. The Rangers only have Lance Lynn. And then the A's have great pitching, but that's only one team. And if you get second place, you're in the playoffs regardless.
Exactly.
And then the teams that they play in the National League, the Dodgers have good pitching. The Padres have adequate pitching. The Rockies are exceeding expectations. But the other two teams that are escaping me right now.
And we're third right now.
Yeah, they're the Diamondbacks, they don't have anything.
Yeah,
Bumgarner's been a bum for them. And then I'm trying to think of the other team from the National League West. I can't. Oh, the Giants, dude, come on. Dude, the Giants right now is literally just Mike Yastrzemski.
And we got
So I mean, like the Astros are pretty much guaranteed to get into the playoffs. They just need to get it together.
Well, we're third right now. We're one game. We're like one game behind. Who is that at the second? No, I don't think I think the Rangers are behind us. I think. I'm trying to remember who is that.
Seattle?
I don't know. I think it might be, actually. Because who's in first?
The A's. The A's are, I think, the second best team in the league.
Yeah, the A's are first. I cannot remember who's in front of us, but we're literally like, we have the same losses, but they just have one more win.
I can't see the Angels being.
I think it is the Angels above us.
Really?
Let me see. This is going to bother me.
Wow. Oh, and Albert Pujols. I don't think we've really spoken about it, but Albert Pujols is chasing Willie Mays for the home run record.
Hey.
He's, I think, 1 or 2 away from tying him. He's 1 away from tying him last time I checked, and 2 away from passing him. And then next up is A-Rod. And he just passed A-Rod for second all-time on RBIs.
Oh, yeah, it was the Rangers that's in front of us. That's right.
Damn, what a bizarre team.
But literally, it's because we have one extra loss that they don't have. They're 8-9. We're 8-10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think their biggest threat down the stretch is going to be the Angels. Just because once Anthony Rendon and Shohei Ohtani and Albert Pujols get hot offensively, you're not going to stop that team, dude. That's a ridiculous team.
And I don't even think the people that we have left we have the Mariners left and somebody else, and we can beat those teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely because the Mariners, they don't have pitching.
If they don't make the playoffs this year, bro, it's really going to make everything worse for us, honestly.
Absolutely. Oh my God, it's going to make things 10 times worse.
So they just need to go ahead and they need to just say F it, and yeah, we cheated. All right, let's go get back to business. Please just say so. We all know, everybody know y'all cheated, bro. Just say, okay, we cheated and go, bro. They're not going to take the championship away. So just say, yes, we cheated and go ball now. You don't got nothing to worry about. Ooh, the stress is gone. Just say I cheated. Dang, man.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like it's almost like getting something off your chest.
And it's like they act like cheating, and they acting like as if like, oh, if we say we cheated, we're gonna be the only ones to ever. Dude, sports is filled with a bunch of cheating. Just move on from it.
Dude, they were handed a gift in the Boston Red Sox getting caught cheating. Handed a gift. Because then they had a cover. All they had to say was, yeah, we're sorry we cheated while the heat was on Boston. But they didn't take the opportunity. And then more came out about the Boston thing, and it turns out the Boston thing wasn't nearly as elaborate and didn't happen in the playoffs. So it's like the whole thing. Like
No, but see, the thing is,
I want to see the Yankees beat the Astros. I want to see the Astros get to the playoffs so I could see the Yankees beat them. I
don't know about that one, though. I think if anything, the Astros will play the Yankees the hardest because there's so much hate between the Yankees and the Astros in a whole just by itself that I feel like that's the only way that, like, because even, okay, I'm going to be honest with y'all. We did not – when they say we didn't cheat in that last year when we lost, we didn't. That year that we cheated was when we won the World Series. Because even Garrett Cole came out and said there was no cheating when he was there. And what did he have to lie about? At that point, he was with the Yankees already. We beat y'all legit. We beat y'all straight up and fair.
Yeah, and I think the only thing, though, is the whole don't tear my shirt thing from Altuve is just bizarre. It's just so strange. And you know what? But if they didn't cheat, they didn't cheat, whatever. And I think Aroldis Chapman, when he gave it up, man, he smiled like he just knew that, like, they just beat me. They just beat me fair and square.
No, but and that's what I'm saying, because like I remember that play was so oh man, I remember that. It was so iconic because I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, come on. And then Altuve smacked it, and he's just like,
dude,
what?
Altuve smacked it, but the thing that's not going to get talked about was the half inning right before it. LeMahieu had such a clutch home run.
Yeah, that was clutch.
Dude, my brother ran up because the game was running late because it was obviously in the West, and two, it was because the game was going on forever. And my brother ran up and he was getting mad at me because I was screaming that LeMahieu hit the home run. I was jumping up and down. I was like a little kid. I was 19
I was with my
years
friends,
old.
yeah. And then I was out with my friends, and my friend Sean, like he's a big Yankee fan, and when I saw that,
Flanagan?
yeah. And when they lost, I was like in his face. I was like, "Yo!" I was like, "Look right here, Altuve!" And like just all the reactions. It's funny looking at it now. It's like, wow, like just who would have thought? You know, it was even a thought.
Yeah, that's the thing is, it's like, dude, I want to see them. I want to see them at least make the playoffs because honestly, I just want somebody to root against. You know, like, dude, it's like watching it. It's like watching a show or a movie without a villain. That's what people are talking about. Like, why don't people watch baseball anymore? That's why. Who are you gonna root against? All these guys are, you know, the good old boy from the Midwest or down south. You know, the gentleman. You know, dude, just give me somebody to hate.
But see,
that's why professional wrestling has heels. Yeah, it's all scripted, but that's why if it's scripted and not all of them are the good guy. You know, that's why, you know.
I don't even mind us being the bad guy, but let's go out and win, though, man. Like, let's actually go out and win and piss people off more because they see us winning. Like, oh, my God, they keep winning. Yes, we're going to keep winning. But y'all being scared. Like, if they going to hit you, let them hit you.
And that's what
you'll be all right. It's just a ball.
And that's what made the Patriots dynasty so good, was that they loved being the villains. They loved being the villain.
No, when they was talking about the deflated ball thing, oh man, Twitter was running with that like.
Oh yeah, yeah, but like, dude, they loved being the villain, and even without that, they just loved to beat other teams. They wouldn't rest their starters. No, we're up 20 points on, you know, let's say the Miami Dolphins, and yeah, we're gonna Tom Brady in, and we're just gonna run up the score. Like, dude, that's the type of team they were. That's like. Those kinds of legendary team, that's what they did. They just liked being the villain. The Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, they liked when people rooted against them. They enjoyed being on the road and being the bad guy.
I actually just started watching the documentary. Like, I always said I was going to watch it, but I'm actually watching it now.
What?
What do you think about The Last Dance?
The Last Dance.
It's amazing.
That's pretty good.
I thought they kind of did Kukoc dirty. I thought they could have given him a little more.
No, they was on head though.
Jerry Krause?
Yes, they on Jerry head.
Yeah, no, in the first episode, yeah, they go deep on like
they grilled him, man. I'm talking about deep grilled.
He's sort of the guy that like brought that team together.
They did a hibachi grill on that man.
He didn't draft Jordan, but like he gave Jordan the pieces to win, and he was always seen as like the villain. Like
but he did the head coach so grimy though. Oh, this is your last year. That was
yeah, and that was my issue with Tony Kukoc was that I feel like obviously now you see a bunch of European players in the league, and he was one of the biggest reasons for that because Drazen Petrovic had died by the time the Bulls had their last chance. For those of you watching, or if you guys didn't know, Drazen Petrovic after the 1993 season died on the Autobahn. He got killed in a car accident. And his last game ever, he dropped 48 on Michael Jordan. Prime Michael Jordan dropped 48 on him. So the dude was a beast, and he was on the rise, and he dominated Europe, and his nickname was the Prodigy. And he's like a national hero in Croatia. But he died, so the only other European superstar was Vlada Divac and Tony Kukoc, because Marcelonis didn't really pan out coming from Lithuania. Sabonis wasn't in the league yet because contract issues and health issues. I'm trying to think. Detlef Schrempf wasn't really a superstar player. Rick Smits was very good, but he wasn't at his peak yet. So Kukoc became the face of the European player. And now flash forward now to half the league being Europeans. I just felt like it was so obvious to talk about how this guy changed basketball. And they just didn't talk about it. Instead, it was like, yeah, he was Jerry Krause's lackey. Ha, ha, ha. Let's all point and laugh. I mean, like, dude, and Game 7 against the Pacers, he saved the Bulls. Yeah. When Pippen and Jordan checked out, he went on a 15-point run. He literally saved the Bulls dynasty by himself. It was absurd, and they didn't talk about it. I was like, dude, what are you doing? He was everything
Michael Jordan's story.
Luka Doncic is everything that Jerry Krause thought Tony Kukoc was going to be. That kind of player.
It's Michael Jordan's story. They're talking about his greatness, not everybody else's.
Yeah. Michael Jordan heard people talking about how ahead of his time Tony Kukoc was, he said from that moment on it became personal. Just made sure that he wasn't in the documentary.
Yeah, no, that documentary is really good.
I think that. Do you guys want to wrap it up soon? I don't know if there's anything else we have to cover.
Oh, George Kittle being the richest tight end.
George Kittle. Oh my God, how could we forget that? No, George. You know, we could talk about the 5 minutes because I actually do got to go in 5 minutes, but I guess we could bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
5 years, $75 million extension.
And the next thing later, Travis Kelce.
Yep.
Got paid a 4-year extension with $57 million. And you look at that. It's funny because how like that tight end conversation is always huge.
Because they 1 and 2. That's why it's hilarious. They're like literally 1 and 2.
Yeah, and like I remember like that Jordan meme like where Travis Kelce's like, I took that personal. Like George Kittle got paid, now he's got to get paid. Yeah, like I saw a meme on that. I'll send it to you guys. I thought it was funny.
And it was funny. It was funny because when I got the report saying that he was getting that much and stuff, it was funny because George Kittle was like, "Oh, y'all believe everything on social media," so everybody was like, "Oh, don't believe it," because he's gonna say, "Oh, you believe everything on social media." But it was like,
because there was a report that he was getting $94 million.
Yeah, it was some stupid reporter said that.
Yeah, that's insane. Like,
and that's when he said it. He was like, "Oh, y'all believe anything on social media," and then he did like the little eye roll emoji. So when that came out, the 5-year, $75 million extension, everybody was like, "Oh, y'all believe everything." But yeah, no, that's crazy, man. That's a lot of money. And I'm surprised that KC can do all this. They giving up like they gave. Well, I mean, his was team friendly, honestly, though. But yeah, man, they didn't. It's not like they had like a lot. The KC didn't have that much money, but they were still able to pay these guys. They paid 3 guys.
Yeah, Kansas City's finding a way to pay the players.
That was the big question after the Mahomes signing. That was a big question after they won the Super Bowl in general. Was how are they going to pay all these guys?
And they managed.
It don't mean a thing without the ring, as Scottie Pippen would say.
They managed to do it.
Hey, it ain't hard to keep people. If you have a championship team, a championship caliber team, it's not hard to get people on your team. That's for sure. But it's crazy though, because they said before they signed or before they gave Chris Jones that extension, they said that Pat Mahomes had like texted him. He said, "I left you some on the table," and then literally right after that, that's when Chris Jones said it. He said literally right after that, they contacted him about a contract. So I don't know. It sounds like Mahomes really was like, bring these guys back. In my opinion, bring these guys back. Bring back Kelsey. Give them this. I took this deal for the sole purpose of bringing my boys back.
Exactly. Kansas City is another team. They're just insane. They're probably you could look at them as a possible dynasty.
Balling. No, that is the definition of balling on the budget, man.
They managed to pay the players. I mean, he got the highest contract in sports history. Something we're probably not going to see for a little bit of a long time. And you just
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
I think it's going to get broken very shortly, my man.
By
me
who?
and my dad were just talking about this before I started. Aaron Judge.
Possibly.
Aaron Judge is going to break it. Because he knows he knows he can. He knows he can. He knows the Dodgers are crying about not having a championship, so they'll throw out. He could ask them for $500 million. They wouldn't bat an eye to sign him.
But no, I mean, I agree with Dennis though, because when you really think about it, football players aren't honestly getting paid as much as basketball or baseball.
And I think that's what. Oh, continue.
No, yeah, and so I was just gonna say, so it's like that's why it was such a big deal when it first came out. Like it was blowing up like crazy. Even like MLB players and NBA players was like, yo, what? It's not known in the NFL. You're not going to pay nobody that much money, man. What? Are you crazy?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, usually it's always, honestly, I would say the ones that really get the big money like that is usually either
baseball,
soccer players, or it's either that or baseball.
Baseball,
honestly.
Yeah.
You occasionally have the basketball players, but those literally have to be the greats, like a Kobe or Michael, stuff like that. But
yeah,
it's usually baseball or it's soccer. Yeah. So
with basketball, the only time a player who, looking back at it, was like, how was this person the highest paid player in the league, was Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard in the mid-'90s was the highest paid player. But yeah, from the Bullets, the Washington Bullets, and then later on the Miami Heat. But other than that, he was with the Fab Five with Chris Webber and Jalen Rose in Michigan. But that's, I mean, like, you're right. Most of the time, players that set like the bar for being paid are not usually, regular ham and eggers, as they would say, regular average Joe. And I mean, you see it in baseball. How long did A-Rod have the record for after getting paid $300 million or close to $300 million from the Yankees when he left Texas? And I mean, like, that is what it is. Teams, this happens. But because of salary caps and whatever, I really expect a baseball player to break it very, very shortly, and probably going to be Aaron Judge.
Yeah, because
I don't think LeMahieu would be that far behind. I think people are really downplaying. I was talking about this with a coworker of mine earlier, that I think LeMahieu has potential to be a Hall of Famer. And I hate the Baseball Hall of Fame, but I really think he's going to finish his career at 3,000 hits. The guy's amazing. Right on cue yesterday, Paul O'Neill was talking about how he's like, it's so rare you see a player just have so much control over his bat like LeMahieu does. There's just something about him. He can get a hit on command. he said that right as he got a hit, right as he got a triple. Nonetheless, he's like, speak of the devil. He's like, the guy's just not normal. He just hits. And I mean, there's talk of him and Charlie Blackmon racing to see who's going to be the first person to average 400 in a season since Ted Williams. It's unheard of. It's unheard of. But and the last thing about baseball is the Cardinals are finally playing again since July 29th.
It's good. It's good.
Dang.
Good for them.
Damn, it's so long ago.
Far behind.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Blue Jays are finally in Buffalo.
I feel like actually one thing I want to say is because I actually do let it go, but I feel like there should be like a week or two that teams that haven't been able to play their games, they get to play the doubleheaders. Like a week before the playoffs, right? I mean, that
would be fair.
That'd be fair.
Unless you're like completely out. That's my take.
Yeah, I like that. That's fair.
Yeah, have
Give
like
them a
exhibition
chance,
games. Have like exhibition games of other teams. That way, guys still stay fresh and whatnot.
Right. Yeah.
But
that'd be good. Yeah.
I think the only thing with that though is like, who would you have play them? Because I mean, at this point, everybody has been playing except for them. Like honestly, so it's like, would you make them play the teams that they were supposed to play that they never played, or?
I don't know exactly how they're doing it, but their first series is against the White Sox.
Okay. Is that kind of like where their season left off on, I guess?
I don't know, but I also know that the White Sox have had a lot of injuries as of late, with Tim Anderson going down for a while, and Edwin Encarnacion. But so I think maybe they just thought that would be a good start against them, a team that's had just some regular injuries and guys coming back and then guys coming back from being sick. I guess just to make it even. But I don't really know what factored into their decision. The Marlins, it happened early enough that they just kind of picked up where they left off, more or less, give or take some teams getting shuffled up. But and the Marlins also rebounded much quicker. Don Mattingly made a couple of calls, and the dude from the YMCA showed up with a bat. But the Cardinals, dude, it took them forever. Because right after when everybody thought like, oh yeah, the Cardinals are going to come back, another outbreak. So DJ Khaled showed up in a St. Louis Cardinals uniform, the Ozzie Smith uniform, and said another one. So yeah, I don't know what else we can talk about. I think we've kind of.
I think we covered a lot.
Everything, a million different ways.
I enjoyed today's show.
I did too. I thought this was great. I thought it was a very fun episode. Very lighthearted.
I wish Josh, D-Trent, I wish you guys a very safe week and to stay safe as long as everyone's watching this podcast. And I'd like to say thank you guys for tuning into the BDJ show. I am Buddy.
I'm D-Train.
And I'm Josh.
Thank you guys and have a good day. And
don't forget to like and subscribe, fellas.
Yes, please.
Please.
And comment. We love to talk to you guys. Shout out to the Marlins fan that saw us last week.
We're answering questions. If you guys get any questions for us, we're answering them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, leave us feedback, man. Like, let us know what you guys want to hear, so we can appease to you guys as well. So. Yeah.
Apparently more Marlins. I don't know. I mean, we're still recording, but I don't know if you guys know somebody from Florida and sent them a link. But there's a Marlins fan that's one of our subs and commented on our last video.
Oh wow! No, I don't know. I don't know anybody that's a Marlins.
So I did. That was not my doing. So, Buddy, was that your doing? Is that somebody you know?
It wasn't my doing.
Marlins fans.
Yeah,
Go Marlins! Woo!
They were sent from God, so we will accept them anyways. So thank you guys for tuning in.
I forget the person's name, but you the real MVP. I'll put you in the description.
MVP. I love you all. And stay safe.
All right, love you guys. Stay safe, man.
Peace, fans. Peace, friends.